What is up, you guys, or you two? Welcome back to episode 7 of the Slide Job Podcast. I'm here joined by Chenry20, and today we are going to be talking about ISM recap, some stuff about ISM, Kyle Busch nearing 200 wins, basically going to get it tomorrow, Auto Club, some qualifying debates, whether
Is he in it tomorrow?
Yeah, he's in it tomorrow. And a little bit of debate about fighting because there was a fight last week, and we want to talk about.
We talked about the fight,
good or bad, but we didn't get it into
if it was good or bad.
Right, and then we're going to go ahead and have our weekly Q&A session, and then maybe go
fantasy
on a
picks.
rant, and obviously
if one comes up
picks. But first, let me go ahead and link this so you guys can actually get to it. There's gonna be probably. Oh nope, I had it on mute. Share, copy link. Gotta get faster with this. I'm getting faster by the week, I swear. Alrighty. Can I just link it like can I edit this? Nope, I cannot. Alright. Real quick.
Some non-copyright background music.
I just want to make sure people can get here. Copy link. Ah, God, that hurt. Oh my God, your thing glitched out. Caleb, stop it. Caleb, do you want to make them leave?
You want to make a 0 viewers leave?
All right. I got it up. I actually
point.
didn't put it in. I didn't put it in the YouTube promotion section, so if I don't get banned for that. All right, live chat. All right. So anyway, right away, let's get into what happened at ISM. So ISM, I mean, it was an interesting race. It was probably a 7 out of 10 to 8 out of 10. I said 8 out of 10 on my race review on the channel, but I kind of went down to a 7. I mean, it was just it was a normal race. It was above average at best. Basically what happened is in stage 1, Blaney came out to a lead. Well, actually Chase Elliott came out to a lead. Then a penalty happened, and I'm not disagreeing with the penalty, which a lot of people seem to think. I'm disagreeing with the fact that that he violated the penalty. I'm disagreeing with the fact that it's a penalty in the first place. But I mean, I get that the pole's supposed to be the pole, but if the leader doesn't do his job, why is the other person to blame? Yeah, you had too good of a restart, so sorry, you can't. You're going to the back because you had too good of a restart.
That would only be affected at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, it's only at the beginning of the race, but I still think okay, that's just kind of meticulous. But anyways, moving on. So Blaney was able to lead probably about 20 to 30 laps. Then Busch would go on to take the lead. Then I think it was Eric Jones caution came out, and then you had people like Busch, Harvick, and a couple other guys. They pit, and then Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney stayed out. Chase Elliott was able to get a top 10 in the stage. Blaney, he would go on to win the stage and get his second stage win of the season. And then Kyle Busch, stage 2.
Domination.
Just Kyle Busch. That's all I have to say.
No, I think Kyle Busch got stage 2 because remember there's some strap. Did he? No, yeah, he did. That was what he did.
And Kyle Busch would win stage 2, and then in stage 3, it was basically a wreck fest, which we'll get into a little bit. I think there's probably 4 cautions.
I do have a rant, but I'm gonna save it.
So that happened, and I mean the restarts 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 would recommend. I mean, it's really good restarts. Interesting restarts at ISM, and the restarts in general have been really good all year long, and that's due to the package. So ISM, shout out to ISM, really good restarts. Not really sure
It's
if they
because also putting the start finish line in turn one, where
in
turn
such a
one used to
wide
be, was a
area,
good.
right?
That was a good. It looked kind of confusing at first, but now it makes
I
sense.
mean, I see a lot of people kind of say it's still a mediocre track. It's really moved up the ranks for me. I think it's really kind of become one of my favorite tracks to watch now. But that could be just me. Anyway, stage 3.
It's better than
After all the Wreck
Mavs.
Fest happened, we had Blaney took 2, and then Kyle Busch took 4, and then but they pit at the same time, right? Blaney would go out to a lead, but he got held up by Eric Almirola. He would finally get out to the front, get to about a second and a half lead. Then Kyle Busch happened, and Kyle Busch would go on to win the race. Blaney would finish third, and MTJ would finish in the second position.
Second, yeah.
I don't know why. Why would I say it if it wasn't? But yeah, that would be your top
Because
three.
couple of
And
might have caught
Chase
you.
Elliott, despite spinning out in stage 3, stage 2, would end up finishing 13th. So, like
Lower
I
down
said, all
that.
around a good race.
Couple more laps, he might have been able to run down Bush and make it a slight battle because he was flying.
Yeah,
The last lap.
he was
I
crap.
don't know if Bush was saving fuel though. It might have been.
Yeah,
Bush might have been saving fuel.
making sure he can make it. Yeah.
I
But
don't know.
anyways, that's going to go ahead and bring us to our first topic, in which are Wreckfest good or bad for NASCAR? And I'm gonna let Caleb. I think he had something to say about this, so I'll go ahead and let him start off.
It's like a thing. It's not good. I mean, it's good, but we don't need them every week. NASCAR does not need Vex to be good.
Right.
You can have exciting races, but they're good once in a while.
Yeah, like I think if a casual fan were to come on and watch a Wreckfest, they might be interested, just depending upon how long it took. Like I think that was
Some of the Vex.
really a. Oh, I looked up the qualifying finishes. I'm sorry to kind of go off topic here, but 31 minutes ago, NASCAR is going to unveil a new format for the Cup qualifying at Texas Motor Speedway, which is next week.
Starting where?
Next week.
What track? What track you said though?
Texas.
They're in Martinsville next week.
Oh, Martinsville. I thought Martinsville was after Texas.
No, I think that's what port. It goes Martinsville, Texas, Bristol. Because there's one in between them.
Oh, okay, my bad. But yeah, so at Texas, we're going to see a new. Well, obviously Bristol is not going to make a difference. That's why they're unveiling it at Texas.
In Martinsville, yeah. Well, probably because draft. I bet it's going to be Daytona. That's my guess. Where are you reading that?
I looked up NASCAR qualifying because I'm looking for the results, but it's not coming up. The results aren't. But anyways,
Bob Hawkins hasn't put anything, and if he hasn't put anything, who put it up?
It was something the Dallas Reporter. I just saw that.
I'm not saying it until Bob Hawkins.
Right. But anyways, as we're saying with my opinion is basically the same as Caleb's. Like if as long as it's good, it's good. Like it's nothing. You can't have it every single race, but a Wreckfest 2 or 3 times a year isn't bad. It's not terrible. And even ISM ratings skyrocketed. Just kidding, not really skyrocketed, but they went up 4% from last year, which will segue into our next topic. In NASCAR ratings are high. NASCAR has been the highest viewed sporting event 4 weekends in a row. And if you can't count, that's how many races there's been this year. So they did see a dip at Atlanta, but besides that, they saw, I think, a 2% increase at Las Vegas, or maybe 6. I don't know. That's kind of a difference. But yeah, they saw an increase at Las Vegas. Basically saw flat at Daytona, but it's Daytona that the same people watch every year. Hold on. And then at ISM, they saw a 4% increase.
Now, this is obviously a good thing for NASCAR. Not to be negative, but I will say this to make a counter argument. Even though I agree with you, that's good for NASCAR. And there's no really other sport going on right now other than NBA, and NBA is at that boring part of the season.
Agreed. And I think that does contribute to it.
in that point part of the season, NBA and NCAA, where you just want to get to the playoffs and tourney.
Well, not NCAA, but NBA.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean the NBA, the NCAA. We're literally
yeah,
Saturday.
but no,
We're 2 days. We're
up
2 days
to this
away.
week, but up
Right.
to this week, and
Right.
NBA,
Okay, that's fair. I guess that's fair. But actually,
NBA, you already know it's
what
gonna be
I
in the
forget if it
playoffs.
was Daytona or yeah, it was probably Daytona. Daytona, same week as actually, yes, I was wrong. It was Daytona
Same day
was
as the
second. Hold on. That's not what I'm referring to. Uh, Daytona was second to the North Carolina and Duke game only by I think about 100,000, which is probably our usual people watching in that area tuning into that game. Well, actually, never mind. It wasn't on the same day. I don't know what I'm talking about, um, but yeah, that was the only time. And Duke and North Carolina is a huge game, like probably the biggest game in college basketball besides obviously the national championship. But I mean, that's a
well,
huge
they
game,
play that 9 o'clock like idiots, but
right?
that's another
And
topic.
and yeah, but yeah, that's really NASCAR ratings are looking very good so far, and I think my opinion now this might not be Caleb's, this might not be, but I think the new package is really what's helping. I think people are tuning in, and they would usually tune in last season and see Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick winning by 16 seconds. I mean,
Yeah.
exaggeration, but you would see them doing that. Opposed to this year, they're tuning in and they're seeing, oh my gosh, these restarts are crazy. Like, oh my, or oh, is Blaney going to be able to hold off Bush? They're seeing these storylines or these seeing close racing, and they're staying because, like you don't. What's the point of watching if Kyle Busch is 12 seconds in front of second place? Like, what's the point of watching? But there's a huge point in watching if there is strategy being played or two cars that can't get away from each other. And I think that's really what has helped these ratings, because instead of viewers just coming in, checking in on the race and leaving, they're coming in and watching how this race ends because the racing is that much more exciting.
Also, you think about what were the most times we've raced before? Restrictor plates and short tracks, and guess what? Those were where the leaders were close to each other.
Right, where they're basically side by side. Oh, okay,
Where
not
there's a chance,
but
still
where
you can catch
yeah,
them quicker.
yeah, right, and yeah, and now we're seeing that more at ISM and other tracks and Auto Club. Not going to go ahead, but Auto Club might be interesting in that aspect.
Auto clubs, I think, is gonna. Well, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, but
Any last minute thoughts on Phoenix?
Kyle Busch was the winner.
Yeah,
And he now has 100. If you let me, Caleb, I got to do the segues here. All right, you're ruining my segues. Kyle Busch is big talk all week, and a storyline that might bring some viewers to watch it. But a big topic this week, probably the biggest topic in my opinion, is Kyle Busch at 199 wins, and the big debate has been, is it equal to that of Richard Petty? No. I'm not saying it's not close to equal, but it's not equal in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not equal. It's impressive, don't get me wrong, but it's
not
equal.
It's heck of impressive. I mean, he's been driving 10 years and has 200 wins. I mean,
of course, half of them against guys that are like
right, and it's against young drivers.
15 Cup.
Think about it. He's probably driven about the same amount of races as Richard Petty did in his career. Would you say?
I'll look that up.
I would say, because if you think about Richard Petty, he had a very long career, obviously, but Kyle Busch is also racing in 3 series, and before they put limitations on it, he was racing pretty much every single race.
Yeah.
So I think that is really what attribute to it, because he raced so much against lesser talent, but at the same time, so did Richard Petty. So I think Richard Petty's has the advantage, but if Kyle Busch were to get to 250 wins in all series, then that's when I would say, okay, you've kind of reached Richard Petty's status, maybe win a championship.
If he reaches 100 in Cup, I'll give it to him.
If he reaches 100 in Cup, yeah. Because, I mean, I'm not saying that the Xfinity races are easy to win, but I can guarantee you, barring a wreck, he's going to win tomorrow, or mechanical failure, retarded strategy, or something like that. Like, That's how confident I am that every race that Kyle Busch goes in there, barring something magical happening, he's going to win that race.
Kyle.
Now, well, since you're looking that up, I guess I
I
won't
gotta do math
separate
because I gotta add up Kyle Busch's. I gotta add up.
All right,
But while we're on
you
this
can.
topic, I got like a little counter topic we can go into.
All right, go ahead.
Greatest driver of all is Richard Petty the greatest of all time though?
I think that's something we need to save for another podcast.
Just on the
I think
spot
that's
though.
something.
Is he?
No,
I don't either. But I'm not gonna say who I think is.
he's barely top 5 in my opinion. I'm not going to give that away. We
That
already
should be
had
an
that
off-week
plan.
discussion.
Yeah, exactly.
But
When we don't have anything to talk about storylines or anything, that's what we'll talk about. So be sure to be there to hear what our is what our picks are. But anyways, another thing
Richard
that
Petty has 199.
oh, hold on.
I added up all Kyle Busch's starts and all of Richard Petty's starts. Richard Petty has 203 more starts than Kyle Busch.
Oh, well, never mind then. My apologies. Anyways.
Plus, before they kept stats, too. So that's probably like another 50 or something before they started.
Wait a second.
Stats.
Was that all together, or was that just Cup Series?
I added Cup Xfinity and trucks.
For Richard Petty.
Richard Petty didn't have anything else but Cup at that time.
All right. I wasn't sure. One.
Yeah. Well, it might have came at the end of his career. Did you also know, this is a fun fact, a lot of you probably know, Richard Petty's last race was Jeff Gordon's first race.
Yeah. I knew that.
1992, I thought that's a lot later than I thought he retired, so they probably did have Xfinity, but it's probably fairly new.
I don't think he was full-time.
Yeah, he was, actually. He came in 26th in points, if that tells you anything. How he was at the end of his career.
He's a little washed up there.
Yeah, let's see. Richard Petty's last few years. I just want to get off topic for a second. His last few years, 26, 24, 29th, and 22nd, 8th, 14th, 14th. Think about that. He's on this. Could Jimmy Johnson be on that same path?
Oh, shoot. That is interesting.
I never realized that. But that's kind of interesting
to think about, because Jimmy Johnson seems to kind of be doing. But I feel like Jimmy Johnson's not going to prolong it like he did.
No. Also, Tony Stewart. But I think Tony Stewart was kind of due to injuries. I'll be honest. Part injuries, part age.
But yeah, but Tony Stewart's not like. I mean, he wasn't terrible. He was still there.
At the end?
He was still there. He was somewhere around there. Again, Kel, you got to remember, that was like the time where I wasn't watching NASCAR. Like, I came back the year you won at Sonoma, which was his fault.
And he was still barely there. Like, let's see, Tony Stewart's last 4 years for Tony Stewart. 2013. Well, he was injured, so I won't count. 29th, 25th, 28th, 15th.
Oh, he was really good. Anyways, as I was saying, so I'm gonna talk about our last kind of, I guess, ISM talk.
Big topic.
Fights.
Not big.
Daniel Suarez and Michael McDowell had a fight. I think we all know that, and I don't think that was really the biggest topic, but it was a pretty big topic last week. And so they had their fight, correct? They went on and had that, and
then they were laughing in the truck the next day.
Yeah,
on Sunday they were.
I think they were, but was that a part of the ratings increase? And is that and the way NASCAR handled it was really good. They didn't penalize them, and they didn't tell them not to do it again. They didn't say, no, don't you do it again or else we will penalize you. They said
they don't want to do it good because that'd make them look bad.
Right, and they said just keep it off the track, which means don't wreck them. Which that to me sounds on the track. Like after the race, if you want to swing them, and we could see a fight this week because maybe like all the other drivers are like, oh, I'm scared. Like if I get into a fight, then they'll penalize me, but. Now they hear that what happened with Suarez and McDowell, like they just kind of gave him a little slap on the wrist, like don't do that, don't wreck each other. Maybe they'll think, oh, so it's okay to go. But I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that
$1 million bonus every driver that
Joe.
cost starts a fight.
No. That's not what they want to do.
As they sneak into your bedroom and just tackle you
But
to get
but
ratings.
does that mean that fighting is going to maybe make a little bit of comeback? Because if you look back at when NASCAR's popularity skyrocketed, that was the Yarbrough and Bobby Allison.
That
I'm
was also
sorry.
the first televised race, though.
Yes. Did it help that that fight was there? Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Like people are like, oh, let's watch this, and and this kind of segues into something I kind of wanted to talk about, but I don't know if I really wanted to talk about here. But I'll go ahead and do it. Rivalries are another thing that makes people interested. I mean, the Dale Jr. Jeff Gordon. If you have you watched that documentary,
That was an overrated rivalry, by the way. That was more Dale Sr., Jeff Gordon.
or did I say Dale Jr.? I'm sorry, I meant Dale Sr. I
Yeah.
apologize. Have you seen that? It was a documentary on Fox.
Yeah, I saw bits and pieces. I have it recorded. I need to watch it sometime, though.
After watching it, I'm convinced if we can get a rivalry going between, uh, two young drivers, that could bring people back because that's really like that's when NASCAR was at its peak, like the peak of the peak. Like, yeah, they were at their peak, like in this Soundberry. No, this was the peak of NASCAR because you had your Dale Jr. fans and your Jeff Gordon fans, and everybody came to see who's going to win, who's going to win this race, who's going to win that race, who's going to perform the best. Is there going to be a fight? But they weren't really like, they didn't hate each other.
Dale Senior, they were actually pretty good friends. Dale Senior mentored Jeff Gordon, but he got arguments on him because he wanted him to do good.
Right, and yeah, there was no bad blood between them. The only bad blood was between fans. They didn't hate each other
let's be
at
honest.
all.
Dale Jr. one time threw his shoe at Dale Jr. after a race, so he really didn't care who you were.
Yeah, I mean, Dale Senior just but but my point is, I mean, and guess what? I got another topic. I've noticed that Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney have not been, and kind of two people we thought were friends have not really been friends lately. Because I was watching, like, it was media day, and Chase said he invited Ryan Blaney, and Blaney declined him, and Ryan Blaney has not invited Chase to anything. So that makes me kind of start to think, what if they're starting to kind of, not like each other anymore? Could that
No,
be
it wasn't that. They said Chase has never really liked to go out and hang out with people.
Oh, okay.
They said.
Darn it. That sucks.
You tried to start something, and you couldn't. He said that they said in the Blaney they're just like a lot of media time issues.
Dang it.
So
but that definitely could be a pretty good rivalry.
But then Chase started a joke. But then Chase joke is like, yeah, they never invite me anywhere. Kidding.
Oh, my apologies. That was kind of dumb on my part. But if there could be a rivalry between, I mean, the Chase and Denny rivalry looks like it very well.
It's overrated.
It doesn't exist, Caleb. How can you overrate something that doesn't exist anymore? My gosh, bless. I was saying like every time I say something like, "Oh, that was overrated," I was saying if there was one, that could have been an interesting battle.
Yeah, you know what I think the best rivalry would be?
What?
Jimmy Johnson versus another young driver could repeat itself with the Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt.
The only thing is Jimmy
young versus old.
But Jimmy,
Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney.
Yes, I would not be able to stop watching. Like I would. That's literally gonna be so excited.
All right, so you've heard of Griff Dog, right?
Yes,
he makes some really good what ifs. He hasn't done one for a while, but he's done some really good what ifs. He did that one best one, whether some people thought it was wrong. I thought it was kind of cool. And what if Dale Earnhardt never died? And he predicted a Kyle Busch, Dale Earnhardt Sr. rivalry. And that probably actually would have happened.
I feel like Senior probably would have been out of the sport by then.
Well, his last year, it was supposed to be like Senior's retirement year, and Kyle Busch's rookie year is when it was happening, which would have been about 2000. So I think Senior would have went to like 2004, 2005 probably.
I think if Kyle Busch could definitely a Kyle Busch and someone else rivalry would definitely probably be very interesting to watch. Like
or Kevin Harvick
or Chase or something like that. You see, but Harvick, yeah.
I'd like to point out I think Chase and Denny have made up.
Yeah, the rivalry's over.
They were joking on Twitter the other day.
Yeah, I kind of already I've given up on
Like
that.
I was reading Chase was like tweeting something. NASCAR titled a video, Chase spins while racing Denny. Denny, the fans might hate you again.
Anyways, let's get off this topic. It's been a very long topic, or unless you have
I got another Phoenix topic that really hit me the wrong way.
All right, go ahead.
I'm biased towards this topic. Fans say that Alex Bowman sucks because he wrecked because of a blown tire.
Oh, do you want? Yeah, I think that's really dumb. I think a lot of people.
Which basically, whoever you put in that NASCAR fan would say he sucks just because he played Dale Jr. Think people say, "Oh, he forced Dale Jr. out." There's always some diehard fans that are going to think that way.
They didn't really force him out.
But that's how some fans think.
I doubt.
I'm not saying that's what happened.
A lot of
some fans. Have you read JB Smooth?
Oh, he just does that for attention.
I know, but there's some fans that dumb.
But then if Dale Jr. was still in the car, he would be like saying Dale Jr. is bad. Why is he still in the car? So it's don't even. Yeah. JB Smooth. We don't say that name around here. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, I think a lot of people just kind of give him hate just because he
plays the most popular.
I mean, yeah, kind of because of that, but I just think I don't know. It's just people don't like him for no apparent reason. Like I don't know.
I think it's just because he replaced the most popular.
I mean, that seems like the most legit, but like even though he's done really good and better than Dale did his last two seasons, which, yes, I understand that he was concussed. I get that. I didn't mean to press any buttons, but he's shown a lot of promise, and you got to remember that he's fairly young still. He's like 26. So
yeah, I was saying he's doing better than William. People think William Byron's gonna be the next top 10 great. He's doing way better than William Byron.
Down on Bowman, he's doing a lot better, and then they're like, "Oh well, Byron's young." Like that's just their excuse for every single thing.
But
and
there's only 3 years difference.
Right. There's only not 3 years. He's like 21, isn't he?
Yeah, but that's 4. That's not 5. That's not that bad. That's not that much.
Yeah, it's only a 2 year, 3 year, 4, 5.
That's not that much, though, really.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I'm not saying that William Byron shouldn't be in there, but Bowman's been doing. Bowman for a brief second last year was the best car at Hendrick. Then Chase.
Yeah, and he's really not that. Chase is better, but he's not that far off from Chase. He's off from Chase, but not that far off. I mean, Chase is like at 100. He's like at 85. I'll put it like that.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm not saying like he's right on Chase's tail, but I'm saying like he's not that far. He was higher than Chase in points before the Phoenix wreck.
Is Jimmy Johnson the worst driver at Hendrick right now?
What?
Is Jimmy Johnson the worst driver? Like talent-wise,
Hendrick
really good, but is he currently performance like how he's doing? Is he worse than William Byron? I
mean, Jimmy's better than William.
Oh, skill wise, but I don't know. I feel like they're kind of equal in terms of finishes.
I don't know. Jimmy is pretty high. It was like 12th in points or something, I think. We'll look that up right now.
He's
I should screenshot these. So
anyways, before I start controversy, we're going to go ahead and move on to Auto Club.
Jimmy is 15th in points. Well, Byron's 18th, so there's not that much difference.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously Jimmy Johnson.
Bowman went to 16th.
But, I mean, like, performance-wise, Golfin invited me. I can tell he's definitely watching. He's probably pissed. So, hey, Golfin. Anyways, so moving on to Auto Club. One thing I want to preface this with is I watched the Peak Antifreeze Series race this week, and it was a good race. It was a pretty good race. I don't know why you're laughing over there, but
it was somebody else.
Oh, but it was a pretty interesting race, and I enjoyed it. But the big thing I noticed, and yes, I understand this is sim racing, but it's the best idea that we can have, and it's just something to mention that it was pack racing for a solid 15 laps, and then you had a group of about 9 actually pull away and kind of go. But again, it is sim racing, so take it with a grain of salt. But that is a possibility of what we could see. Excuse me. Anyways, so moving on to qualifying, I want to go ahead and name off the qualifying results. First place, Austin Dillon. We'll talk about that in a second. Second place, Kevin Harvick. Third place, Eric Almirola. Kyle Busch fourth. Joey Logano fifth. Holy crap. It's a very bad top six. Denny Hamlin 11th. Brian Newman 7th. Chase Elliott 8th. Clint Boyer 9th. Ryan Blaney 10th. Jimmy Johnson 11th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 12th. Brad Keselowski 13th. Chris Buescher in 14th. Larson 15th. Ty Dillon in 16th. Daniel Hemrick 17th. Eric Jones 20th. Or no, he's the 20 car. He's 18th. David Reagan 19th. Daniel Suarez 20th. Kurt Busch 21st. William Byron 22nd. Alex Bowman 23rd. Matt DiBenedetto 24th. Paul Menard 25th. Ryan Preece 26th. Martin Truex Jr. 27th. Bubba Wallace 28th. Michael McDowell the 29th. Nobody else really interested. Reed Sorensen will be driving the 27 car, so shout out to him. Also, let's see here. The last place car this week was a whole 3 seconds slower than the pole sitter and a whole holy crap. Hold on, let me get out. I had to actually break out the old calculator for this. 25 miles per hour slower than the pole sitter. Joey Gase. 25 miles per hour slower than the pole sitter. Holy crap, that's pretty bad. Like that's pretty bad. Anyway, so that is your qualifying results. And time for the qualifying debate. I mean, I guess not really debate because I think me and Kill kind of agree on this. But should now NASCAR, like I said earlier in the stream, has announced that they will be unveiling a new qualifying format. What?
So I ain't seen anything on that. I just read all the way through Twitter feed. Nothing was on that.
Nope. No Daddy Pawgrass stuff. All right, that's fine.
I'm not believing until I see some on podcast or Jeff Clark.
I mean, and it might not be true, but according to the Dallas Inquirer, there is to be a new qualifying format at Texas, so that could be, I don't know what it would be. And again, since Daddy Pawgrass has not said it, then it might not be true. But should there even be a new qualifying?
NBC put it out. I'll believe if it's NBC.
There you go. Daddy Pawgrass didn't say it, but NBC. All right.
He might have since it. I was just saying, Dallas thing could have just made it up because some weird newspapers.
But anyways, moving on. Why? I mean, should they have done this or should they have just left it the same? Me personally, I find it enjoyable. Like I really enjoy like who's going to go first. It's I actually enjoy it, and obviously I'm sure they'll fix it to where drivers will have to go out or give some incentive. What they might do is give an incentive, like a point incentive for the qualifying. But when they say format, get Caleb.
No, I don't think they'll do that mid-season.
Why not?
Because I don't think there should be a points change mid-season because you know how much championship stuff that could change.
If you had like a whole 2 points,
they would. I think that's actually in the drivers' council. They can't make any points changes mid-season, so I think that is out the window.
My apologies. Well, what do you think they did then?
I think it's going back to single car, like Daytona, then like the next 12 qualify.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Well, all I know
boring.
is that I'm going to lose my viewership, but yeah, that is how you get the fastest car. But I mean,
in my opinion, it's more exciting this way. Don't get me wrong, but I actually want to see the fastest car on the pole.
Well, I mean, besides Austin Dillon was the fastest car. He had the fastest speed. I'm just kidding. I know draft. I get it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. But I mean, Austin Dillon actually had the car this week, which we'll get into it.
He's usually pretty good qualifying, then sucks in the race for some reason. I don't know.
But I mean, the top 10 was basically the same. I mean,
yeah,
you had front runners, so it's not like it's really affected it. I mean, always. I mean, now it just makes it to where every once in a while you see an outlier like Daniel Hemrick. Obviously, Austin Dillon went in the pole, but it's not really changing up the qualifying. It just means you might have to try harder in the second round. But obviously they're going to fix it. It's going to probably go back to second round or just second round. What the heck am I talking about? Single car qualifying, which I guess just saves time for me. Doesn't means I don't have to watch qualifying and just read it when we're doing the podcast. But anything else about qualifying?
No.
All right. So one thing I do want to talk about is Austin Dillon. He has a fast car. He won both rounds in qualifying. So can he actually compete this week?
Well, you have to hear my fantasy team to find out.
All righty. So I guess we'll have to wait for that. But time for Caleb's favorite time of the week, the weekly Deegan report. And there's nothing to report on, quite frankly. He's going to go use the bathroom, but quite frankly, there's nothing really to report on. I mean, she's still 17. She still drives cars. That's really all there is. Yeah, nothing really happened this week in the Deegan
Still
world,
hot.
but just still hot. I have to delete that. Anyways, moving on. Nothing really happened in the Deegan world, but we just had to have that little section. And now on to both of our favorites. The Q&A session. As looks like I got a couple people watching on the Amino. Hello. You can come on over to the YouTube if you want to chat. Well, actually, it appears I cannot find. Where did my post go?
I say just tell them to go to search only left turns, whatever it's called, left
Well, I
turn
mean,
central.
they're watching it on the app, so
Oh.
I think they can just go from there. Oh, here we go. All right. So Danny Nolasco Luna, sorry if I said that wrong, asked, why don't they have more tracks in the western part of America? Well, just in the west, but I'm assuming that's what he meant. And right away, I'm just going to say that's just not where the majority of NASCAR fans are, or at the very least, that's just not where
They were at the time.
That's just not where NASCAR roots are. And what am I saying that they shouldn't expand? No, I think maybe I don't really know any tracks out there, but if they added a couple Western tracks, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But the reason why is just because NASCAR really, it started in Daytona. The capital of NASCAR is really in Charlotte, and it's just really been an eastern, southern
It's more convenient for the teams to travel to.
Right. Because all the teams are based in Charlotte, which is basically the East Coast. Well, it's to be specific, it's not on the East Coast, but it's probably about 100 miles from it. So just in case, got some specific people. But yeah, it's pretty close to the Eastern Coast, so they have to travel all the way from there, all the way over to the West. So that
Like a lot of
added
times
the
when
fact that for the most part,
followers and stuff.
right. And yeah, so I mean, it's just not a fun situation.
I don't get to go home. Like the drivers that got jet, they can just fly home and fly back on Friday. But there's some of the pit crews see the family for a month almost.
Yeah, and I think that's also kind of they have the West Coast swing because it's like rainy over here. It's just kind of and it's warm.
If you also notice, like last year, Martinsville got snowed out, so
yeah. But anyways, yeah, that's why there's not that many tracks in the West. But again, I'm not opposed to it as a fan, but I figured it would be a hassle as a team. And if you don't know, every single team in NASCAR now is located in Charlotte.
I think there might be one more budget outside, but that doesn't really make a difference. I'm just pointing that
Yeah,
out.
it's just low budget. I just knew
I always about that.
bragged on how Furniture Row was. But anyways, yeah, that's why there's not any in the West. But I think they'll probably add one or two at some point. But that's why right now. And now here we go. Got a long one from Snap On Man Patrick. He says, why does NASCAR have 3 short track races over the course of 4 weeks when the tracks are within 200 miles of each other? And why does Texas have to be the one race over these weeks that isn't a short track? And that's a very interesting question. First of all, Brian France was the CEO in the decision making of this, and he does drugs. So that's really the only thing I could tell you.
I really have no idea on this one. Why?
Uh, yeah, all I can tell you is that it's just bad decision making. Like I couldn't explain the motive,
2021 is going to be interesting.
but yeah, and I don't think it'll be that way for a while because
I
2021, there is a possibility that NASCAR could just purchase the track owners, which would then allow them to just manipulate the schedule whenever they want.
because now the track owner's like, no, I don't want this date and stuff like that.
Right, and then if they own it, like, huh, we're your owners, so gotcha. But
But I
yeah,
think there'll be some big. I don't think there'll necessarily be. I think there'll be like 2 or 3 more tracks, maybe. I'll say 2 to 5 new tracks. But I think there'll be some big shakeups in the schedule making.
yeah, I think Iowa would probably be one. We'll probably see, and was I don't know,
There's a
I don't know.
hot
I
rumor about
honestly,
natural fairgrounds in Rockingham
yeah, that's
because
been a very,
The
but I don't know
North
if they'll be
Carolina
ready by
governor,
2021.
if
Is
they
the
get
thing.
on the ball,
Right? If they are, then they are. But
if they're
I'm
willing
not.
to. I mean, the North
Well,
Carolina governor put it back on the budget. That's basically why they
right,
left because they just couldn't keep up with the times.
all right.
I mean, I forgot it hosted truck race in 2012, so it wasn't that long ago. Nashville's really run down, so that's really going to take some.
That's going to take some fixing, but
I think that's might be
maybe
like 5, 6 years. But Rockingham, if they get on the ball, they could have that ready for 2021.
right.
Or at least maybe ready for an Xfinity and truck race and like Cup in like 2023, 2024.
Right, and I think that will be only great for the sport. But as to your question, I couldn't answer it to be definitive, but I think that will probably change. I mean, I think was
This could
Texas
be good.
still
Tweet
interested
at
when they
Bob
made that
Pockets.
schedule?
I'm going to suggest it to you because he's really good about answering fans. And he might have a good inside answer on that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Treat someone like that.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a smart move, and the vibe I get from that, yeah, it's probably shouldn't be there, shouldn't be like that. But I mean, I would love having 3 in a row, but then that means I have to go an entire um, long stretch without any short tracks. So I'd rather than spread it out.
Off topic, but I don't know why this just came to my head. I used to hate road courses. They have grown on me over the last couple of years.
I hated road courses until Chase Elliott won there,
Oh no,
and
we
then
can
Ryan
finish this.
Blaney. Now I love road courses.
How about New Hampshire? You like New Hampshire yet?
No, no, it's even. I mean, to watch, yeah, but to drive on in NASCAR heat, that's a big no.
So, well, this is probably really off topic.
It's fine.
What
We don't
tracks?
got anything
What
else lined
tracks do
up.
you think Gates cut?
The second Texas race. I think they have to
Yes.
keep Texas for old time's sake, but the second Texas race.
Yeah.
Um,
I would say
Probably,
Kentucky, but here's the thing.
I, I feel
But I have an
Kentucky
argument with Kentucky. I might be biased
because of
because I live near there, but I don't really like the track, but I just like it because it's close and I can go to it. Uh, that if SMI continues on the track, so they're probably not going to cut it because they put a lot of money into it in the last couple of years. So why would they put money into it and get rid of it?
what they might do is that's what NASCAR is trying to purchase, right?
But
That's what
I've never heard anything about NASCAR trying to purchase tracks. But if that would happen, I think
I
Kentucky's gone.
mean. No,
But
no,
is
no,
that for
no,
the
no. My reference is to the owners of the track, or is that a different one?
Yeah, SMI put a bunch of money into Kentucky, so that'd be
SMI
interesting. Why would they put
is that
money
the
into it
company that
and
NASCAR
then
is trying to purchase?
what?
SMI, or is that
Yeah,
a
that's
is
who
it,
owns. That's who owns Kentucky. They own
is
like
that who
Kentucky.
NASCAR is trying to
They're not
buy?
trying to purchase anything. I haven't heard anything about them trying to buy.
There is a company. We just had this conversation 5 minutes ago that NASCAR is trying to purchase that owns the majority of NASCAR tracks. And that you don't know about this?
Oh, ISC.
Okay. God bless Caleb. You had me like
I haven't heard
geeking.
anything about that.
Them trying to purchase it?
No.
Yeah, they're trying to buy the tracks, and if they have ownership of the tracks, that means they could. We just had this
Well, that would be
conversation.
interesting to see. Like maybe one year we don't go to Kentucky, but like we do go to Kentucky and Texas twice one year. That could be interesting if they give them the rights to like put them like one every other year and shake it up a little.
Oh, okay. You had me hell of confused. Like we don't go to Kentucky and Texas. Then one year we go to
But,
Kentucky and Texas. I was like,
but just like that's an
same.
example.
It sounded like you said the same year. I'm like, wait a second. But I think Kentucky is probably one that would get cut if NASCAR had their way. But again,
SMI, if as long as they continue to own it, I think that'd be because they put money into it.
but let's see.
Unless they can find another big racing
Other
series
one.
to go there. New
I don't
Hampshire.
know. No, New Hampshire's interesting racing, 2-lane racing.
I don't know. Maybe a second Kansas. I don't know. Kansas is okay.
Nah,
Maybe
Kansas
just
is interesting. I don't know. I think it'd just be Texas is really the one I want out of.
maybe
I mean,
Kentucky.
if I had it my way, I'd probably have it
I love,
out like.
I love the
But
old Texas.
I think Texas kind of needs some time to get back to its former glory.
That was probably my favorite mile and a half until the
Repave.
until the repave. It was one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know. Kansas is probably my favorite repave.
I also think they
Or
should
not
rotate the ultra race.
halfway. Yeah, I think that's pretty much consensual.
Maybe the second
Consensual.
Pocono. Maybe the second Pocono.
Pocono. There we go. Yeah,
The
probably
second
good.
one. I keep one. Maybe the second Michigan. That's
Indianapolis,
kind of
if it wasn't a
50-50.
crown jewel, would have been long gone.
In my opinion, Indy is not a crown jewel, but that's just my opinion of NASCAR.
But
It's a crown jewel track, but not of NASCAR.
But it's still.
Yeah, it's a historic track.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to go to like the late 90s, like mid 90s.
But I think what really needs to be rotation is the championship race.
Yeah. I mean, Homestead's an okay track to have it at. Not the best, I don't think.
But I feel like Homestead is actually a great track for it.
It's pretty even playing field.
But I think we need to allow Atlanta, Las Vegas, Kansas, Chicagoland, and other
Those would be the
tracks.
best. I don't think you should put a short track. Make it an even playing field.
I'm not saying I don't want it to happen. I would love to have a Bristol because short
But I
tracks.
think to make it even playing
Short tracks
field.
are the love of my life. But to be fair, it'd have to be one of those mile and a halves because that's just really what takes the most skill. Or a road course. I mean, that takes a lot of skill. Just saying.
Yeah.
But
then you also got drivers who aren't very good there.
Yeah, I think a road course would be just a little bit too crazy.
I think or even a 2 mile like Auto Club or Michigan. Not saying those are the best places, but something like that 2 mile would be that bad.
Maybe a Michigan or Auto Club, yeah, and maybe cut the second Michigan race.
Yeah, I said that.
Sorry,
yeah.
I didn't hear you.
Second, that's really about it. I mean, most of the tracks are.
Yeah, I think a lot. Yeah, but
maybe Kansas. I don't know if you had to add in another track.
I don't know. Maybe if you take away, I think if you could take away all of the second races, like make it to where you go once every year.
Except maybe Daytona, Bristol, the points of Bristol.
Yeah, right. And then you would add in those tracks, but it might not all happen at once. Like you might, if you add in Iowa and Nashville, I don't think you said Nashville was going to take a while, but I'm just using an example. You got those in, get rid of Michigan second race, get rid of Kansas second race, and
we spread out the Michigan races because look, there's let's see, Michigan and Pocono. Michigan, there's only 7 races in between. The Pocono, there's only 6 races in between the Pocono race. So if you're not going to give it, we spread them out more. Like put one like March, and put one like late August.
Well, you can't put it in Pocono, nor can you put it in Michigan early because the weather.
Of course, they go to Virginia, and weather's not much different in Virginia than it is in Pennsylvania. You go like May. Go early May, I'd say, and like late August.
I don't know. Maybe even add Circuit of the Americas
Yeah,
to the
I
schedule.
think 3 road courses is enough. I was boasting on, but I think 3 is enough.
I know. I agree. But if they were to add a road course, it'd be Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah,
I think I think four is my max, but
4 is
I'm
the
not.
max. I think
I'm
3 is
not.
good. 4 is be okay.
Yeah, but I mean, if road
Like I love
courses
Daytona Talladega,
road
but 4
courses
is
bring in
enough.
views somehow, some way, then obviously I would say add one. But I don't think they really do. I I used to be at the point where I don't watch them anymore, but now that Chase won, I'm watching every single one. And Blaney, like now I'm a road
Because
course
Blaney's was just
fanatic.
pure luck.
Blaney's was luck, but still,
Chase had a Chase was kind of luck, but not really.
not really. No, yeah,
I mean,
fastest,
I,
second fastest car. I think he would have been able
that's
to hold him off, gas out or not. Honestly,
I don't know. I think Kyle Busch, if he got all the guys, I think he would have won. I just had that feeling because
oh,
it's
Bush
Kyle
ran out,
Busch.
guys.
Yeah, it was Kyle Busch.
That was Martin Truex.
No, Kyle Busch. Well, man, they didn't get enough fuel in the car, and he had to pit before the restart.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I think he would have held off Truex. He would have held off Truex.
Probably, but yeah, I think that's
But
really all I got. Unless you got something you want to say.
no, fantasy picks.
Fantasy picks it is. All right.
Do you have yours ready? You want me to go while you're getting yours ready?
I have mine ready. I just have to get
I
to
go
them.
first. I went first last week.
All right. Just let it load real quick.
So you go first.
All right. So, my first pick is you go ahead because I forgot I didn't change it from last week.
All right. Don't say them out loud like you did last week.
All right. So let's put Joey Gase here.
All right. One of my drivers is Austin Dillon. I don't think he's going to win necessarily, but I think he's going to still remain in the top 10 this week. Another driver I have in there is Kyle Larson. He's been really good at these tracks. But struggled last year, but I think he can go back to that old setup maybe. Maybe they tried something different that didn't work. I don't know. Clint Boyer I have in there. He won at the last Michigan race, or the second to last Michigan
rain
race.
Rain out.
You might say that, but he still had like the second fastest car there. And then I can't put Harvick, Busch, and Truex in there every week. Wait for a second because I'm having lagging issues before I continue. Oh, there we go. I have Ryan Newman in there as a filler. I don't know why. I was just feeling Newman for some reason. And Joey Logano, I have. And Logano's been pretty good here. I think he won here a couple years ago. He might not, but I don't think he did win. And in the garage, I have MTJ.
All right, I'm go ahead and go
Can you
through
hear
your
me?
stage. Yeah, I just gotta change something.
Hello? Can you hear me? Did you hear my picks, Hein?
Yeah, I heard your picks fine.
Okay.
I'm just changing
What
because I had
stage?
Arsenal in stage one, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
All right. I have stage 1 winner. I have Joey Logano. Stage 2 winner. I have Kyle Larson. Carson's going to dominate stage 2 ever. I feel he's going to choke it away and give it to Joey Logano, unfortunately.
Alrighty, you ready? Or am I? You ready
And
for
I
me?
have Ford being the manufacturer. Yeah.
All right. So I have Austin Dillon in my first spot. I usually put the pulse there and there. I don't feel like I'm going to use him that much later on, so might as well not use somebody else. So I put him there, and he seems to have a fast car. I mean, he's not going to win it, but I feel like he's going to get at least give me a good finish. Kyle Larson, he's always fast at these tracks. Have to put him there, and I've only used him twice, which I don't know. I feel like he's just going to fall off like he did last year, but he could be a Kyle Larson actually start winning for once. Then I have Clint Boyer because I haven't used him yet this season. That's literally the only reason why. Denny Hamlin because I haven't used him all season, and Joey Logano because I haven't used him all season, and he's usually pretty good at Auto Club. Like that's literally I'm just reserving for the end of the season. Kyle Busch is in my garage, and
Who
the
else did you
reason
put?
Logano,
Who'd you have as your fifth? I didn't hear you. Lagged on your fifth. Who'd you say? Logano. All right, that's who
Logano.
I had. Also, did you know your pick started over at the Chase?
No, I actually was not. I was not given that information. So
Yeah, you
next
used it to
time,
resist, but you can only use like max to
but
so many drivers in
but
the Chase
I
though.
have
Like you can only
I've
use like
already
3 Chase. Like I also think in the Chase you can only use like 3 of drivers can only, which that does make it interesting.
so yeah, but
Who you have?
I used a lot. Actually, I want to switch out Kyle Busch
I
with.
mean,
Actually, I'll just keep him because it's like I could put him in for Boyer and Hamlin. It'll give me more, but I feel like Bush I can just still use later.
no,
Just
don't
like
get me wrong. Bush and Harvick could both be my fantasy if there wasn't a limit. They'd be in it
um
every week. Bush would be in
right.
it every week.
I don't know about Harvick, and I'm gonna get this a second, just a second. Don't question it. But I do have actually my stage one winner being Kevin Harvick. I think he's just going to get to the lead and win the stage. Kyle Busch won stage two, and Kyle Busch won the race. Toyota is my favorite manufacturer. Even though I think Ford's usually better here, but I put because I feel like Kyle Busch is going to win. Anyway, so actually, if you're from the Amino, you've probably read my article on Kevin Harvick, and basically, while I think he's still going to be better than he was before. I feel like last year was sort of a fluke, and I don't mean a bad fluke. I still think he's going to be a great driver this year, but I don't think he's going to be nearly as dominant as he was last year. And I want to go ahead and I want to quote my article for this, and I'm interested to see what you think of this. Let me find it. It's right. It should be. I think I'm right on my page. Yes, I am. So I said he hasn't shown. Let me find it. All right. So now age could be a factor. Definitely could be. But I don't think that's really the problem here. Last year, Harvick, I can just say this. I don't really have to. Anyways, last year, Harvick, he had leads of what, like 8 seconds about each race. Like when he had the car, he would pull away by 8 seconds. That is correct, right?
Right.
And then when Kyle Busch would have a car to compete with him, Busch would win pretty much every time, unless Busch made a mistake, obviously.
Yeah.
When Busch had a car level with him, it seemed like Busch would pass him.
The only one I think he did beat Bush was New Hampshire, and that's because Harvick did a bump
That's
and
because
run.
Harvick, yeah. But
Which I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm
so
just
if you
pointing
think
that out.
about it this way, this new package, and we've already seen an example of this. Larson made a mistake and Harvick got by, but Larson was able to get past him since he had about the same speed as him at Atlanta. Harvick, kind of the same thing happened with Logano. Actually, the exact same thing happened with Logano, and Logano won the race because Harvick couldn't pass him because they had the same car. And I think what's happening is the package, Harvick can't get to these 8 second leads and just not have to worry about anybody catching up to him. So now he has to actually lap by lap worry about somebody passing him. And I think that's really hurt Harvick.
Something I've noticed with this new package, not to get off topic, but you notice like the best car, they're good in clean air, but then when they get back in traffic, they're just like average. They don't look as good
Yeah,
when they're in
like when
traffic. Like you saw Bush took forever to get back up there.
right. It took
40s,
him a
like
long
30,
time. And that
I mean, they're still capable of getting to the lead, but it's just hard.
that was something that was there last year, but it's really been heightened by.
Been more of a factor.
But it's
Like you
not
saw
right.
like Kansas, for example. I think he back in like was in bed top 10 like back at 8. He was like back in the top 10 with like in 20 laps.
Right. And it's interesting because a lot of people were expecting clean air to be that big of a factor, and it is still a factor when you're in a pack, but when it's but it's not as big of a factor as you're not able to pass somebody when it's just you and him. When it's you and him, you
Yeah.
still have that ability to pass, and that's something that a lot of people did not understand about this package. It never was really to get rid of dirty air. We knew that was not going to happen. And not until Gen 7, and what the package really did, it just made it to where you don't have somebody stalling when they're right behind the car. The car is able to pass when it's just you and them. But yeah, I feel like Harvick is only going to win 2 or 3 races. That's just
I
me.
feel like he'll win like 4, but that's a big step down from last year.
I mean, but last year was a historic season.
Yeah, but if
So
you also notice, he didn't look that good at the end of the year. He looked like about like he does now.
right, and I think
Like kind of fell off at the end of last. Like his last win was what, like late August.
yeah, I think it was about late August.
It was
But
like Michigan or something, like Michigan, New Hampshire, or something in there.
no, I don't think it was New Hampshire.
No, New
I'm
Hampshire. I
not
think it was Michigan. No, Texas. He
maybe
ended up winning at Texas. He won at Texas, but it took him from like August to like November to finally win again.
right. But
Like the
yeah, I think we're gonna see a Harvick not as nearly as dominant as last year, and more like before last year. You know, kind of like
we
that kind of
still
Harvick.
win. We're still like
And
one of the top 5
and
drivers,
if
but
he
not
wins a championship, he wins a championship. I'm not going to be surprised.
anybody can win it. I mean, who knows? William Byron
And,
can win the
and
championship with this package. With
I think that's
I
the
don't know.
point where you just turn off the TV.
I don't really mean William, but he's just kind of the first average driver that popped in my head.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean,
Well,
just watch out. I think Harvick's going to win stages. He's going to be up front. But I think you want to notice as the race goes on, he's just not going to be able to hold the lead like he was able to last year. I think that is something that he struggles with, is having to race against somebody. And I hear the guys up in the booth, they're always like how he's able to save cars. Well, he's able to save cars because he gets out such a lead that he doesn't have to use his car. So now we're seeing Harvick when he has to use up his car to get out to the lead, and by the time he gets there, then the other guy just comes up to him. Okay, that was really actually not really a good example, but he like has to use his car at all times, so he's not able to save any, and then eventually the guy behind him just passes him, and he just kind of fades away.
yeah.
And another thing,
But
I think maybe kind of the struggle at ISM was the package and just kind of the new configuration of ISM.
and whatever setup they're using that was working just didn't work like it was in the last 5 years or whatever.
Right.
Or maybe they're trying some new to make them even better and it didn't work. That's what I think happened to Varson at the 2 miles last year. They just tried some new and it didn't work. That happens. You try to get faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's really all I got. Anything you want to talk about?
The Hall of Fame bout in Carl Edwards was not a nominee, even though he is eligible. So, as a Carl Edwards fan, how do you feel?
Well, I know at some point he's going to get in, and I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer over Tony Stewart. Or now, had he won that championship that Tony Stewart won, yeah,
maybe he'd be on first ballot.
Yeah, if you think about, I feel like Carl Edwards just really goes underrated because he didn't win a championship, and the only reason he didn't win a championship was because of the chase. He'd be a 2-time champion or a 3-time champion?
2.
I mean, still that's.
I don't know. 2018 is debatable. 2016 is debatable. 16 is debatable.
Wait a second. I haven't seen Carl Edwards since.
I think 16 would have been Bush for some reason. I want to say. I don't think it would have been him actually. I think he'd have been like second or third.
Right.
So I don't know.
I feel like at some point we are going to have a probably near to the playoffs. We'll have a long talk
about why this package is good and why the system's good, why the system's bad.
Yeah, like kind of a pro con, probably on an off weekend after the second off weekend, I would say. But yeah, that's really all I got. You got anything January 20?
No. Don't do drugs. Stay in school. Study
Spring
hard.
break.
Make good choices. Yeah, maybe we could do a midweek one if some big news comes out. I don't know.
We might do a midweek one,
What's like an interesting topic or something.
We'll definitely have some multiplayer videos up. We'll probably record about 2 or 3 of them at some point.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's really all I got. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on the Aminu, thank you for watching. Be sure to come back next week, Friday at 8. And obviously, if we have one in the midweek, we'll let you know. Also, a quick shout out to the NHOL Racing. Did I say it right? Yeah, NHOL Racing League. Me and Caleb are starting up. If you guys want to watch it or watch it, join it. I don't know why I said watch it because I'm not going to stream it.
We're gonna put some clips if they get good.
But
Like some racing clips.
be sure to comment down below your Xbox gamer tag.
In contact.
And your Discord and contact stuff so we can send you and
maybe
we'll send
I
you a
wouldn't
link
to the chat, but like give us like your gamer tag or
give us your gamer tag and we'll add you, get you all set up. There will be a tryout held tomorrow. We don't have anybody yet, but
if we don't have anybody, we won't have it.
But yeah, if you guys want to join, make sure to comment that below or just somehow contact us. But really, that's all I got. Anything, Cherry? Last chance. Forever hold your peace.
Don't do drugs. Study hard. Stay in school. Make good choices.
All righty. Well, looks like I'm gonna fail.
Be good. Study hard. Make good choices.
Be good. Study hard. Choices. Well, I do zero of the, or I do zero. Well, I do one of the three things. Wait, no. I do zero of those things. All right, whatever. See you guys in the next one. I have a video planned for tomorrow, and probably will have a video pretty much every day this week since we're on spring break. So be sure to check those out. That's all I got. Say goodbye, Chinry.
Bye.
Hasta luego. That means until later in Spanish. God dang it.